Fog curls across the Carpathian Mountains. A ruined castle looms against the blood-red sky. From its shadows, a figure stirs, pale, watchful. His teeth glint, and with them the promise of death. For centuries, we've called him Dracula, the vampire, the monster of the night. But what if Dracula was never just a monster? What if behind the legend lurked a real man, a forgotten human whose shadow still hunts us in story and in blood? Could the vampire myth be more than fiction? Could it be a memory carved into history itself? Welcome back, Darklings. The tale we know begins in 1897 when Bram Stoker published his Gothic masterpiece, Dracula, the Count of Transylvania, a noble cloaked in black who sleeps by day, hunts by night, and feeds on the living. He fears the cross, loathes garlic, and cannot be seen in a mirror, a creature of endless hunger and endless night. But Stoker didn't invent this terror. He borrowed from whispers centuries old, the strigoi of Romanian folklore, restless dead who rose from their graves to drain the living. And of course, the man who impaled his enemies on stakes, Vlad, the real prince of Wallachia, whose cruelty bled into myth. And yet the story doesn't end there, because the vampire legend stretches further back, far beyond Transylvania, beyond medieval Europe, into something older, stranger, and perhaps even human. But Dracula is only one name. Travel east, and the shadows lengthen into other forms. In the villages of the Philippines, they whisper of the Aswang. By day, she walks unnoticed, a neighbor, a friend. But when night falls, her body splits apart. Half remains behind, while the other half grows wings of leather and hunts. She drifts through the air on hollow bones, her tongue stretching like a needle to pierce the womb and drink from unborn children. Mothers covered their bellies with ash and placed garlic at the windows to keep her out. In India, the stories are older still. Here it is the Vetala, a spirit that does not merely haunt the living, but takes possession of the dead. They hang upside down in graveyards, waiting, their eyes glowing red in the moonlight. The Vetala's laughter is said to echo in the ears of those who hear it, driving them to madness. In some tales, they speak, teaching forbidden knowledge, offering power in exchange for life itself. And then across Europe, another form, Nosferatu. Long before Stoker named his count, the people of the Carpathians already knew a word for the creature that spread like plague. They feared the Nosferatu not only for their hunger, but for their curse. Wherever they walked, disease followed. Corpses were exhumed and burned, their hearts staked, their mouths stuffed with stones to silence their eternal thirst. Different names, different lands. And yet the same pattern emerges. A figure who walks at night, a figure who feeds on blood, a figure who is not truly alive and not truly dead. But here is the question. How can cultures, oceans apart, cultures that never touched, never traded, never spoke, tell the same story? Why do humans everywhere remember the same predator in the dark? Perhaps the answer lies not in myth, but in bone. For centuries, people truly believed the dead could rise and drink from the living. And when fear grips a village, it leaves traces in the earth. In 2009, archaeologists uncovered a skeleton in Venice, a woman buried in the plague pit. But her jaw was forced open and a heavy brick wedged inside her mouth. Why? Because her neighbors believed she was a vampire feeding on the dead during the Black Death. The stone was meant to silence her forever. Across Poland and Bulgaria, graves tell the same story, corpses pinned with iron stakes, skulls, severed ribs pierced with sickles so they could not climb back from the earth. To those who buried them, these were not just criminals or outcasts, they were predators. And science offers clues as to why. Some believe vampire legends were born from disease. Porphyria, a rare blood disorder, made the skin blister in sunlight and the gums recede, exposing long fang-like teeth. Rabies drove its victims into madness, terrified of water, desperate to bite. During plagues, corpses swelled with gas, their mouths oozed dark blood. To the fearful, it seemed they had fed. But the story may go deeper still. Anthropologists suggest the vampire is more than sickness. It may be memory. A memory of something not quite human, but close enough to haunt us. Faces that looked like ours, yet different. Predators that walked by night, stronger, hungrier, and unafraid of the dark. Could the vampire be the shadow of another human species, neighbors who once hunted beside us, or hunted us a blood? In every culture, it is life itself, the river that carries breath and spirit through the body. To drink it is to steal life. To spill it is to cut the cord that binds us to the world. No wonder the vampire clings to it, a parasite feeding on the very essence of what makes us human. But the myth is not only biological, it is social. In medieval Europe, peasants whispered that the nobility, pale reclusive living in stone castles, drained the lifeblood of those beneath them. Dracula was not just a monster of the night, he was a symbol of the ruling class, a lord who consumed his people and left them hollow. His immortality was power itself, eternal, unreachable, sustained by the lives of others. And deeper still, the vampire embodies something older, etched into the marrow of our species, the fear of the almost human. Faces that resemble ours but are not ours, creatures that walk like us, look like us, but move with strange hunger. Some scientists call this an evolutionary memory, the reason the uncanny valley unsettles us. We recoil from what is nearly human, but not quite. A survival instinct. Perhaps the vampire legend is not just about blood, it is about the human who is not human. A warning that lingers in our stories, in our superstitions, even in our genes. So what is Dracula truly? Not just a count in a Gothic novel, not just a corpse rising from the grave. He is the echo of something we have always feared. The vampire is a memory disguised as a story, a warning carried through centuries. Beware the face that looks like yours but is not yours. Beware the hunger that cannot be sated. Beware the predator who walks in human skin. Our ancestors did not write these lessons in books. They whispered them by firelight, folded them into fairy tales, and carved them into the bones of legend. Dracula is not merely a monster, he is survival encoded in myth. And perhaps that is why the story endures, because it is not only about them, it is about us, our fear of death, our obsession with immortality, our suspicion of power that feeds but never gives. In the end, the vampire's curse is our own reflection, our endless hunger, our refusal to die, our dream of living forever no matter the cost. So if Dracula is not only a monster, but the memory of something we once feared, what other legends are hiding the same truth? If blood drinkers are echoes of forgotten humans, then perhaps other fairy tales, the ones we laugh at, the ones we tell to children at night, are not innocent at all. Take The Frog Prince, a story of love and transformation. But what if it began not as a romance, but as a ritual of sacrifice, an ancient bargain with the underworld thousands of years before the Brothers Grimm ever put pen to paper? Click here to uncover the 4,000-year-old secret behind The Frog Prince. See you in a future video, Darklings!